Hi, everyone. Excited to be here today with my good friend, Laura Bennett, also a co-organizer of Music, Medicine, and Machines. I'm going to turn it over to Laura to tell us a little bit about herself. Hey, Laura.
Hey, oh, thank you. Hey, everybody. It's so nice to meet you. I'm so excited to be here with my good friend Donna as well and talk a little bit about my background. So I've been in healthcare since 2009, and I support the federal healthcare community with understanding policy and regulations and how that's going to impact the market down the road in terms of commercial and the federal contracting community. And I'm very passionate about improving healthcare for all, as well as modernizing the systems that support our healthcare initiatives. So.
Yes, I've always admired that about you, Laura, in our field of health and life sciences, and your role and what you've been doing. It'd be really interesting to get your take on the current environment, given how unprecedented our time is right now with COVID.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that's going on with the market right now, and the government just basically handed a big bucket of money over to Health and Human Services. So watching how those funds are dispersed amongst the various operational divisions, agencies, you know, SAMHSA, Indian Health Human Services, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, as well as seeing the waivers that CMS is instituting and how that's going to impact the market is just incredible. I mean, really, there is a downstream impact that we just haven't seen quite yet. So it really depends on where you want to dig in understanding in terms of how the market is impacted. But one thing we're seeing is that the market is quickly pivoting with folks coming out with goodwill efforts on producing protection equipment. You know, businesses are pivoting quickly. We're seeing businesses grow bigger, businesses grow smaller. It just really depends on where we dig in deep and look at what's happening at the national level down to the state level, down to the local level.
From a innovation standpoint, and our focus in the meetup, what are you excited to see or hopeful for, and in what this could mean for our future in healthcare?
I think from a focus from our meetup group, what we're seeing is a lot of folks are taking the data and they're looking at how it's spreading around in the United States. So when we see states reopen and implement contract tracing measures, that's where we can see some real innovation. But at the end of the day, we're going to need good data and we're going to need partnerships across the states. And one of the things I'm concerned about is, you know, the states are going to reopen at different levels. We still have states that are open that might shut down, like North Dakota and South Dakota. So what I'm trying to say is, you know, the states have a decentralized approach right now. We have states that are open, states that are closed, states that are now getting ready to implement openings, right? You know, Texas is going to start opening, Maryland is going to start reopening soon. And it's going to be a multi-phased approach, and everybody has their own approach. The problem here is that we don't have centralized methodologies and a plan in place. So I think when it comes to the data and the technology, everybody's going to be doing their own thing. So collecting the data, understanding this COVID pandemic, and really coming home with it to develop contract tracing technologies across the entire United States, and, you know, a holistic approach, we might come up against a problem there. But overall, I think we're going to have a lot of innovation. You know, the Health and Human Services agencies, as well as Defense Health and Veterans Affairs, have all of their own initiatives, and the commercial industry is engaging too. I know Databricks has a hackathon set up that they are doing right now.
Do. Yeah, thanks for that plug. And I definitely agree with you that data is so important, and particularly around testing, right? So that we know exactly what we're getting into when we're opening up our states. But I wanted to pivot a little bit, Laura, because it's incredible the type of information and knowledge that you have in what we're going through right now. And I'd love for our members to hear more about like your background and your role at HIMSS.
Right. So I serve on the HIMSS National Capital Area chapter, and that's the DC chapter for the HIMSS organization, which is based out of Chicago. And basically, it's a 1,200 member strong organization, and we do monthly events from September through June, typically in Virginia, focused on bringing together federal health leaders, industry, program managers, academia to talk about these important, pertinent issues and how it's going to impact the marketplace down the road. And I've been supporting it for 10 years now, and I've made my way through the organization all the way up to president of the chapter. And let me tell you, it's like having a second part-time job.
I know only too well. I mean, that's how we met, and that's why, you know, I think birds of a feather as we are, you know, really shepherding the community and sharing that information and the networking opportunities. That's what I love about you, you know, proud of the work that you've been doing at HIMSS. Tell us, you know, also, you know, we named our meetup music, medicine, and machines. Of those three areas, which one would you say you're more of?
I'm the music part girl. We're going to have a dance party here down the road. So trust me, guys, once we're fully open, we're going to be meeting in some cool venue with a DJ with some cool fancy lights.
Absolutely.
And we'll
Oh
tie
my
it in.
gosh. You know how excited I am about the fun part of our meetup, and I can't wait, wait for that opportunity to meet people in person versus, you know, the virtual techniques that we're 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 forced to do
Having
now.
to,
But yeah,
I know, right?
it's
I
a
know.
good thing. But would love to get a chance to meet our members in person. Tell
Yes.
me about some of the, you know, we've talked a lot as girlfriends as well as, you know, organizers in the community about things that interest us and our passions. I'd love for the members to hear a little bit more of that side of you.
Right. So I think, you know, healthcare is so important, and that also gets down to your mental well-being, and your mindset is just so incredibly important in terms of anything that you set out to do. And, you know, people are driven by passion and purpose. And that's why I think you and I are in healthcare, right? Is we want to help people. We are driven and fed and nourished by that mission. And we get so serious and we can get bogged down. So it's about how do you remove the mental roadblocks so that you can really go after what you want and stay focused and disciplined, working towards that end goal, but also having fun. I think one of
Yeah.
the unique things about our meetup is that we want to have fun, bring in
Yes.
music. It's a form of art. It's a form of healing. And it's, you know, there's studies out there proving how music improves one's mental health and even one's physical health. So I'm so
Yeah.
glad we're bringing that element into our meetup.
Yeah, I think I
So
told you so that I could be a little bit more legitimate to our meetup community. I'm taking singing lessons. But yes, I do. Um, we intentionally put that
that's
aspect into our
great.
meetup because yes, even in running the communities that we've had, you know, separately in our worlds, that has been kind of a missing element, right? A uniting force that really brings people together, as well as, you know, music really is medicine for the soul, right?
Well,
um,
it is. And it's great to educate and get people together and talk about healthcare, talk about technology. People are really inspired and jazzed up about that. But we
yes.
need music. It just grounds you and soothes you. And I think a lot of folks are using music to get their message across about healthcare, and we can certainly plug that into the group.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So um, round out a bit for our audience about, you know, some opportunities you think, you know, with where we are right now, that people have in joining the meetup, or, you know, maybe you could also share any advice to people that are out there right now that are by themselves, how do they stay connected? Because that's certainly one aspect and goal of our meetup, is to, you know, network and
Connect people.
yeah.
Yeah, so I was giving a talk to some George Mason students, and you know, they're in informatics, they're in healthcare, and their thoughts are, how do I network in this time?
Yeah,
And it's really
exactly.
hard. And
Yeah.
but you know, everybody is still networking. People are posting their Zoom calls on LinkedIn, so it's evidential. We have evidence that folks are still getting out
Yeah.
there and networking. So I think, you know, people joining our meetup, we're going to be, you know, posting our videos. People can comment. They can comment in the meetup group. I mean, that's a one-time way to reach out. You know, being active on LinkedIn, joining these associations like HIMSS. We have a whole webinar series being rolled out this next week. So I would say look for those groups that you would normally go visit in person and see what kind of webinar or Zoom calls are they doing, and see who's on the board, see who's listing those organizations on their LinkedIn profiles, and start reaching out individually. I think now more than ever, it's about making an individual connection
Right.
and reaching out to one person at a time and then developing that relationship.
Yes, that's why I love the fact that we're doing these, you know, short interviews so that people within the meetup community can use their time to check profiles out and see who's a member and learn a little bit about our our organizers and our members. So I love that. Um, Laura, I'm so happy to have you as a co-organizer of Music Medicine Machines. I'm excited for what we're going to do with the community, and thank you so much. I can't wait for the rest of us to continue to get to know you.
Well, thank you. And I'm so excited to be here in the meetup group with you and our other co-organizers. And we're bringing human back to healthcare, and we're going to
Yes.
soothe and feed the soul with some good music.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thanks, Laura.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.